Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Right, my name is Dr. Noor Azimin Zainol from UUN, and today I'm going to present a paper, entitled. Let me just turn it on. Yeah, all right. Okay, the paper that I'm going to present in this conference is entitled Identifying the Accommodation Needs and Preferences of Muslim Travelers. And this is a paper made by another two colleagues of mine, which is Dr. Eshabi Mustafa and Dr. Noor Azimin Noor Azam from the School of Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management from University Utara Malaysia. And this is a paper based on the findings, well, some of the findings of a research being conducted by us. Yeah, right. So let's move on to the outline of the presentation. Okay, I will first start with the introduction of the paper, and then we'll talk about the literature review, and then the project scope, and then the methodology. Later on will be on the results and analysis and discussion and conclusion. Right, without further ado, I'm going to go into the introduction part first. Yeah. Okay, right. In terms of presentation, introduction. Okay, the Muslim travel segment is one of the fastest growing segments in the tourism industry, and thus is recognized as a powerful commercial force. Yeah. Okay, and Malaysia has recognized this niche market and had played a major part by being among the most visited destinations by Muslim tourists around the world, and this is quoted by many sources, especially the Question Rating website, which is 2020. Yeah, right. Malaysia is considered as a safe and preferable destination for Muslim travelers, especially due to the accessibility of mosques, halal food outlets, and shopping malls, which makes it easy for travelers to fulfill their basic needs during their travel. Yeah, and this is supported by Zakia Samori and Fadila Bilal in 2013. Okay, right. Muslim travelers prefer to choose a tourism destination whereby Islamic tributes are highly available, which allow for Muslim activities that fall within their religious norms and practices. And these elements undoubtedly will provide an enriching experience during their travels. In addition to halal accommodation on offer, the service providers should also put emphasis on the provision of good service as an opportunity to provide a memorable experience for Muslim travelers. Right, so based on this introduction, the objective of this study is to investigate Muslim travelers' perception regarding accommodation experience that Muslim travelers encounter during their stay to align with Muslims travelers' needs and preferences. So we wanted to know what are the Muslim travelers' needs and preferences when Muslims travel around the world, actually. Right. So the project scope, since this is an exploratory research or exploratory study, we had conducted it via a qualitative method, and by that we had conducted an in-depth semi-structured interview towards 14 international Muslim informants who have traveled internationally in the past few years, in the past last year or the past few years, and they are all Muslim informants, obviously. All right, so this is the research design, how is the method. Okay, right, so it's a qualitative method, we applied it, and it's an exploratory study to provide a better understanding on the informants' accommodation needs and preferences during sampling and during traveling. And then for this matter, purposive sampling was being applied, and those were Muslim informants were interviewed, and 14 of the informants were actually international students of UUM. And according to Galvin 2015, 14 informants is enough for a qualitative inquiry, because it has already will generate results or themes that was needed. Yeah, right. So in terms of the analysis for the data, it's gonna we have done a thematic content analysis based on the data collected, and then the instrument obviously in-depth semi-structured interview protocol and face-to-face interview. Right. So based on the results, based on the analysis or based on the interview that we gathered, yeah, we have come out with two sections of results. Firstly is the demographic profile of the participants or informants, yeah. And secondly is the identification of the accommodation needs and preferences of Muslim travelers, which is the objective of the study. Well, the study have other objectives, but we just extract one of the objectives to be highlighted in this conference paper. Right, so first we'll go on to the demographic profile, which is the first part of the results. Yeah, right. So the information that was sought was the informants, which we have coded it. Yeah, informant by the number of I, and then I1, I2, I3, and so on until I14. Right. We also did ask about their gender and then their religion. Well, obviously they are all Muslims, and then the education level and country of origin and the countries visited by them in the past years. Yeah, right. So these are the informants demographic profile, as you can see here. Yeah, informants are here, informant 1 until informant 14, and then the gender, which is either female or male. Yeah, and then religion definitely are all Muslims, and then the education level, because they are all international students in UEM, right? So either degree or master's or PhD level. And then the source, or I mean the country of origin of the informants, yeah, mostly are from the Middle Eastern, and then we also have some Asian, which is from Thailand and Indonesia. Yeah, right. And then the countries that they have visited. Yeah, so you can see here various countries, because it's talking about international Muslim travel. Yeah, right. So we have Turkey, some went to Syria, even the United States, and then Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Tokyo, Japan, Singapore, Indonesia, United Kingdom, and so on. So various international countries which are either majority Muslim or non-Muslims have been, they have visited and experienced accommodation there. Right, so we move on to the second part of the analysis, which is the identification of the accommodation needs and preferences of Muslim travelers. Yeah, right. So based on the interviews, yeah, we have come out with three themes. Yeah, based on the interview. Right. So the first one is what we call, or what we term as special necessity for Muslim travelers. The second theme is known as the having suitable location, and the third theme is providing service experience. So we'll just go into one by one on the service, on the themes that was being developed. Yeah, right. So for the first theme, yeah, under identification of accommodation needs and preference for Muslim travelers, yeah, is the special necessity for Muslim travelers, right? So I have to put on my glasses back now. Okay, right. So based on this, yeah, majority of the respondents or for the informants mentioned that the good thing about traveling in these countries, either it's Muslim country or non-Muslim country, yeah, is they some of them, yeah, provide the special necessity for Muslim travelers. meaning that they are concerned and they are aware that Muslim travelers' needs and requirements are a little bit different from the normal mass tourists and mass tourists. Yeah, right. For example, for informant number 7, yeah, not number 27. Sorry, that is my mistake. Yeah. Right. Informant 7 stated that I've been to Tokyo, Japan, and experienced a great amount of memories with its hospitality for Muslim travelers. The staff treat their Muslim guests with attentive care. To my surprise, they have trained their staff to understand the Muslim necessities by providing a halal-friendly menu in their hotel restaurant and also having Qibla direction while the praying mat in our room is they still have the praying mat, but it's for rent, but it's okay. Yeah. Well, in addition, Informant 6 also stated that I've traveled to Iraq and it gave me a positive experience during my stay at the accommodation chosen as it was comfortable, the room was marked with the Qibla direction, and most importantly, the hotel doesn't allow halal activities such as alcohol, discotheques, and gambling. Yeah. Since I am a Muslim, these aspects in choosing my accommodation during my travel is very important. Right. So there are other extracts or excerpts from other informants, but I just choose the best one, which portrays one, yeah, Muslim country and another one is non-Muslim country. But however, they still provide the special necessity for Muslim travelers, and this was being raised up or highlighted by most of the informants. Yeah, so we clean it up as one of the first thing. Yeah, right. The second thing is the suitable location. Yeah, suitable location in terms of Muslim travelers really needs and prefer to have a very a good location which is near to halal eateries and then which is near to the mosque and which is near to the traveling destination and so on. Yeah, so suitable location is very, very important, especially when these travelers travel in big groups. Okay, in groups, yeah, because usually Muslim travelers sometimes, yeah, usually they will travel in with family members and so on. Although they are lately or recently, they are also solo or individual travels involved now, yeah, recently. Right, but previously most of the Muslim travelers will travel in groups. Yeah, right. So this is being stated or being mentioned by informant number 10. Last year, I have traveled to Turkey. I must make sure to choose the most strategic location of my accommodation, especially when traveling with my family. I will make sure the location of my accommodation place is easy to find a mosque for Salat, and if we are out surrounded by halal restaurants and far from the non-halal activities such as the pub or bars, right? And this is also being supported by informant number 5 when the informant mentioned that when I was in Saudi Arabia to perform Umrah, it was an amazing experience. About the accommodation, it was very good because my apartment was very close to the Haram Kaaba and the hotel was very comfortable and you can sleep and relax while after performing the Umrah, which is meaning that it's very convenient and very very easy, yeah, to especially when you want to perform your ibadah, your umrah, yeah, right. So that is the second theme, and the last theme is highlighted or is named as providing service experience. Okay, right. So service is an essential part of the accommodation and also a part of the guest experience. Either is a positive experience or a negative experience. And just to highlight this, although Muslim travelers are like normal travelers, yeah, it's just that they have some special requirements. However, they also wanted to be treated like just like other normal tourists around the world, yeah. where they also seek for very, very good service experience, preferably positive experience, definitely, right? So, right. So, according to Informant 1, I have traveled to Amsterdam before to visit my brother. The hotel we choose nearby the airport surprisingly is one of the halal hotels and provides halal and vegan for breakfast to their guests. Yeah. The price per room was also affordable, so it is ideal for Muslim backpackers or for those who are on tight on budget like me. The room itself was comfortable and exceeded my expectation. Right? Another excerpt by another informant, which is informant number 7, also mentioned that I have traveled to Singapore before, and once I reached the hotel, the staff did not welcome me, and I have to wait for 2 hours to check into my room. No apologies given for keeping me waiting, and when I ask something, the staff does not answer it properly. Yeah, once I reach the room, the good things are there are direction of the Qibla, but there is no praying mat provided. And I was frustrated the most by the bills that they have sent me as compared to the service I received, which is not worth paying at all. And if you can see here, yeah, I have highlighted two examples, which is one a positive experience, which is the Amsterdam one, and then the other one is the Singapore accommodation experience, which is a little bit negative one. Yeah. So meaning that wherever you go, I mean, in either in Muslim country or non-Muslim country, yeah, the service provider will always have to provide a very good and memorable positive experience to their customer, be it Muslim customer or any other customers, yeah, because these are also service experience which is sought for by Muslim tourists, especially when it involves a lot of money and lots of costs, yeah. Right. So basically, yeah, as a conclusion, yeah, as a discussion, the findings have supported previous findings by various authors, meaning that some of the authors were saying that travelers will have positive experience relating to the accommodation because the accommodation provides the basic or special necessities for Muslim travelers, for example, having Qibla direction, prayer mats, and the Quran in the rooms. And this was mentioned by Bato and Bato, Lee and Amelia, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Right. So it supports previous authors mentioned that special necessity is important for Muslim travelers. Okay, and apart from that, having a strategic location which is far from non-halal activities and at the same time having Muslim-friendly features supports propositions given by Zamani Farhani and Henderson 2010. Right, and lastly, the provision of favorable accommodation service experience also supports Vargas, Sanchez, and Moral 2018, and Bato and Ismail's notion, which contribute to the significance of the customer satisfaction. Yeah, right. So I think that is all for my presentation. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it and get some information, and I'm happy to share this information with everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good day and thank you for your time. Thank you.